I've always wanted to be able to sell my personal work, but it wasn't until last year that I truly felt like I had images worthy enough to be offered for sale. Once I truly believed that I had a collection of images ready, it was time for me to get all the pieces and knowledge to open my own print shop. And after a metric shit ton of paper and ink, I'm gonna show you how you can do the same. Let's get this started.
But God might be on vacation, and the promised land ain't never promised. My baby telling me to be patient, but the devil always working overnight, my darling.
Good morning and welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, bonjour. On this channel, you'll find a ton of content around the gear, software, and techniques that I use for my professional photography. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I started printing my images from home, how I got it to pay for itself, and key things in my process that should help you get better faster. As always, I read all the comments, so if there's a question that isn't answered in this video, be sure to let me know in the comments and we'll continue the conversation there. Why should you print your images? Well, that could be a video itself, and well, maybe it will be. Quite simply, it just gives you more tangible ways to interact with your art, and when given to someone else, has a deeper sense of connection and meaning. Now, printing your work sounds easy, but can get quite expensive. Between the printer, ink, and time, it can take a lot. However, I firmly believe that the juice is worth the squeeze. The trick is to find strategies and efficiencies to make it more plausible. Now, one quick thing before we get to the gear, I wanted the equipment that I got eventually pay for itself through print sales. That's a lot easier when you already have an audience to sell to, but the theory will apply to anyone. So while some of you may watch this video and feel like it's a bit out of reach right now, don't worry about it. A lot of the things I'm gonna talk about are applicable when you start to figure out who your audience is, how you wanna market to them in the future. Okay, so let's talk strategy. You'll have a fixed cost at the beginning with the purchase when you get started. Printer, ink, paper. You will then have variable costs afterwards, more ink, more paper, and from other items like shipping and even your work that you're putting in. If you want to do this right, it is worthwhile to spend the time to work this all out so you know the numbers at a glance. This will help you understand how many sales you need to make to recoup your costs and become a lot more profitable sooner. Let's walk through this quick exercise together to better illustrate this. Let's say it costs you $2,000 to get everything you need up front. This is your fixed cost, and it gives you, let's say, 200 prints. You've effectively paid $10 per print. Now, let's say you want to build a shop online, package the prints, ship them, and refill your paper and ink. These are variable costs because the more you do, the more funds you're going to need. However, as you do more prints, aside from that first 200, your average cost per print will go down because you're not spending another $2,000 for 200 prints again. You've already made that big initial purchase. So it's feasible to tally the costs, do the math, and work out a new per print cost that is much lower than $10 a print, including the cost of your time to print them and ship them. While I won't dive into a microeconomics class, I will say that having taken microeconomics online and even in university, this has made all of this stuff a lot more easier. So I would strongly encourage you to go to Khan Academy online, take their free course, and really arm yourself with information. Now, that's the theory that'll help you get around the numbers. What's next? When it comes to printers, I'd look at Epson and Canon first. They tend to have the best offerings right now. I personally chose the Epson P800 because it provided the features and quality I was looking for. This has been replaced by a newer model that's slightly better with magenta colors and much smaller in size. For paper, I'd say get some sample packs and really test them out, and even ask your local camera shop for some samples to see which you like the most. I went with the Moab Juniper rag that was first introduced to me by Stefan Vanasco. It's a cotton fiber paper that really holds details well with the pleasing texture and feel. I tested a bunch of different paper stocks, and this was the one that felt right for the type of images that I produce. Deciding on the right printer and paper are relatively easy decisions. Let's talk about some of the trickier things that you want to solve. Once you've gotten your printer installed, you'll want to get the right ICC profile for your paper. This tells your printer how best to print for the paper stock that you have to get accurate prints each time. You can find the right ICC profile from the website of your paper supplier. Now, before you get started, go over any of the maintenance features on your printer to clean the heads to make sure that it's firing the nozzles as accurately as possible. Once installed, let's say you have an image you want to print. You want to view a proof to show what it looks like when you're printing it. For this video, I'll be using Capture One Pro. First, I want to make sure that the color being represented is perceptual. This is in the preference of this program. And then have my default view mode to ProPhoto RGB so I can see all the information that is being captured by the digital camera. Once the image is edited to where I like it, I'll add a recipe in a TIFF format that displays the ICC profile we installed and have that selected. With this set, I can have the proof button to quickly show me how my image looks in the printed format. If I see that I need to make adjustments, I'll create a clone copy and make tweaks before printing. When I'm ready to print, I'll print directly from Capture One to ensure that the right profile and sizes are selected. I'll also select black point compensation to ensure that my blacks are not being crushed in my print. You can also experiment with this to see what works best for your art. And well, that's it. That's how I produce my prints. I'll sign and number each one, package them in a polyurethane bag and a card back that you can find on Amazon, then place them in a photo mailer with a personal message for each person. Look, the truth is that this is a lot of work compared to sending it to a printer, but it's important work. I wanted to say that I was able to control the entire process. From the moment the image is captured, to the editing, to the printing, I have controlled every step of the way. So when a customer receives an image, it is entirely my vision. Now, it is harder, but it's more profitable for my business and my soul. To date, I've only offered about 6 prints for sale, and each one is incredibly personal, and I want others to find inspiration in them. It takes a lot of time and testing, but I believe if you can apply yourself, you'll find this to be far more rewarding than outsourcing your prints to someone else. Through this process, I've been able to not only fund my printing solution, but invest in future creative endeavors. More importantly though, I've been able to connect with some amazing people all over the world that love my work, and shit, that's just a one-of-a-kind feeling. That's just more valuable and when you've controlled every step of that journey. So yeah, for me, like I said before, the juice is definitely worth the squeeze. And there you have it. That is my relatively quick guide on how you can start printing from home, building your own solution, pricing it, and approaching it in a very strategic way. If you guys, again, have any more questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to dialogue with you there. And if I don't have the exact answer, I can at least help point you in the right direction. As always, my name's Gadgen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.